Mean what you say. Dow Finsterwald, former PGA champion, now head pro at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, once asked me for a favor. He had seen a print of a Leroy Neiman painting of him playing with Arnold Palmer, and he asked if we could get him a signed edition for his clubhouse. I called one of our executives who dealt with Neyman on a regular basis. He said there would be no problem, and I conveyed this news to Dow. A month later, I called that executive. I was in Japan at that time and began telling him in so many words how, early in my career, I had promised to do something for someone, hadn't done it, and how it had come back to haunt me. As I continued, it became clear that the executive had no idea what I was talking about. But as I approached the end of my story, he blurted out, "Oh my God, the Neiman print! We shipped it off a week later." Business promises are made all the time, and almost as often they are broken, needlessly creating a horrible impression. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you can't do it, think it's more trouble than it's worth, or don't want to do it, then don't say you will. Make up any excuse, but don't even say I'll try. At the very least, that leaves the other party with the impression that you tried and failed. If you say you will return a call the next day and you don't, that's enough to influence an entire relationship. There's no business law that says you ever have to return any phone call, just don't say you will. It is also unwise to put yourself in a position of speaking on behalf of your company if you know there is a possibility, however slight, that your company won't back you up. Many years ago, several people at Wilson Sporting Goods assured Arnold Palmer that if he ever wanted out of our contract with Wilson, all he had to do was ask. Years later, when Arnold's association with Wilson had begun to deteriorate, I decided to test those assurances. Arnold and I were having lunch with Bill Holmes, Wilson's president, and I asked Holmes, "If Arnold wants cut of the contract with Wilson, can he get out?" Holmes nervously replied, "The answer is no." The incident was a great education for both Arnold and myself. We had assumed that an individual was speaking for the company because he worked for the company. Arnold's disenchantment with Wilson led ultimately to the dissolution of his contract. If you promise someone you will deliver something in a week and it gets there a month later, it's worse than your not having promised it in the first place.